I'm staring at a goddess. She's telling me she wants me.
I want you.
I'm not gonna waste one more second wondering how I've gotten so lucky.
In a cheap hotel room, a brutal-looking giant named Marv wakes to a pounding headache. Only hours ago, he experienced what he considers a miracle, a night with Goldie, the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. But at some point during the night, the bedroom door quietly opened, and the mysterious kid in glasses stood in the doorway, watching. Now Marv wakes up to find Goldie dead in the bed beside him. Because there is no visible trauma on her body, Marv knows this was the work of a professional assassin. The sound of sirens approaching in the distance makes him realize he is being framed by someone with deep pockets and a long reach.
Whoever killed you is gonna pay, Goldie.
Marv flicks his lighter and waits behind the door, listening to the cops rushing upstairs. The moment the cops demand he step out, he smashes through the door like a wrecking ball, leaps over the staircase railing, grabs another rail mid-fall, and dives out a window into a pile of garbage in a nearby alley. An approaching cruiser tries to cut him off, but the brute jumps through the windshield, neutralizes both officers, and hijacks the car. To lose the heat of the entire city's police force, he slams the accelerator and drives the vehicle into the river, then swims through the filth of the sewage system until he emerges from a manhole across town with one mission: find the person who took his miracle away. Seeking medical supplies, Marv infiltrates the residence of his parole officer, Lucille. Upon telling her everything that happened, she offers him medication for his injuries, but warns him that his revenge will end in a life sentence. But Marv isn't operating on a legal frequency anymore. For him, blood for blood is the only acceptable resolution for the murder of the woman he loved. He leaves her and climbs a high-rise building that used to be his childhood home. His room remains clean because his mother keeps cleaning it, hoping he will return home someday. But Marv is only there to pick up his favorite gun, which he nicknamed Gladys. Even though he tries to be quiet, his blind mother senses him. When she touches his face and feels the fresh cuts, she starts worrying about the sketchy men who came earlier. Marv just tells her there's nothing to worry about, and then he leaves. He realizes Goldie didn't find him by accident. She hunted for the meanest, toughest brute in town to protect her. He walks into a dark alley and forces his way past a disrespectful bouncer at a popular bar.
New here, Marv.
Nancy's just getting started with a gig, but already the crowd's breathing hard. Plenty of nights I've drooled over Nancy with all the other losers like me. That's not what I'm looking for tonight.
Although his favorite dancer, Nancy, has just begun her routine on stage, Marv ignores the show and roughs up a Wolverine-looking thug at the bar, ordering him to spread a rumor that he is drunk, vulnerable, and crying over a murdered girl named Goldie. While Marv waits for the message to travel, he settles in to enjoy Nancy's dance routine and tells waitress Shelley to keep the drinks coming. Shelley first walks straight to a corner to deliver a drink to a customer she clearly admires. Dwight ignores her obvious attention, silently watching Marv instead. He is deeply impressed by the brute's reputation and sees him as a gladiator born in the wrong century, a man who would have been rewarded with girls like Nancy in an ancient arena. Two hitmen press cold steel against Marv's back and drag him into the back alley. This is Marv's favorite part. Because they are killers, he feels no guilt for the pain they are about to receive. He punches the first man, redirects the second man's gun to shoot his own partner, then smashes his skull against a brick wall. To get the name of their employer, he puts another round into the survivor. The hitman gives up the name of a fellow who runs the table at the Triple Ace Club. Marv offers a polite thank you before ending him. As Marv leaves, the distinct scent of Goldie's perfume hits him. He ignores it, convinced he is losing his mind because he neglected his meds.
You're gonna pay for what you did to me.
Marv uses his highly effective interrogation protocols to extract information from the city's criminal gangs, working his way up the food chain to a corrupt priest.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a ball.
The priest confesses that the powerful Rourke family is behind Goldie's murder, but Marv doesn't believe a dynasty would care about a nobody like him. The priest tells him the answers are waiting at the family's secret farm. When the priest insults Goldie's memory, asking if an escort is worth dying for, Marv takes him out and steals the keys to his high-end Mercedes.
Modern cars, they all look like electric shavers.
However, the woman who looks exactly like Goldie runs him over. Despite sustaining multiple impacts and gunshot wounds that would have ended any normal human, Marv dismisses the encounter as a vivid hallucination because he is off his meds and keeps moving toward the farm.
This is a bad place. People have died here.
Encountering an aggressive wolf on the property, he drops the beast with a single, bone-crushing punch to maintain the silence. But as he inspects the fresh human blood in the animal's jaws, the kid with glasses suddenly shows up behind him with sharp claws.
It's impossible. Nobody can sneak up on me.
He moves so fast that Marv doesn't even get a chance to land a punch before he gets slashed across the face.
Not a sound. Nobody's that quiet. You killed Goldie.
He awakens in a dark basement, surrounded by 5 mounted, decapitated female heads. Behind him sits Lucille, who was captured while investigating his case. She hysterically reveals that their captor consumes the bodies of his targets, keeps the heads as trophies, and feeds the scraps to his wolf. When Marv tries to calm her, she shows him the stump of her wrist, revealing the monster has already consumed part of it while forcing her to watch the whole thing. Eventually, Lucille catches her breath and reveals that she found out Goldie was a prostitute. Disregarding that detail, Marv focuses his attention on the iron window bar's mechanical structure, searching for points of failure. Outside, their captor waits, observing Marv's struggle. However, the boy leaves when a car arrives and someone calls out to him. Marv finally learns the boy's name is Kevin, and with that, he pulls off the window frame and the two escape the basement. But an arriving police helicopter spots them and drops a tactical squad of heavily armed, corrupt cops. Marv locates his drop gun and prepares for a bloodbath. However, Lucille strikes Marv with a heavy branch, knocking him dizzy so she can negotiate a peaceful surrender using her official law enforcement credentials. But the corrupt police captain immediately guns her down. Because Lucille was the only person who ever looked out for him, Marv completely loses his mind. He grabs a rusted axe and dismantles the entire tactical unit. He purposely leaves the captain for last to persuade him into confessing that Cardinal Patrick Henry Rourke, the most powerful man in the state and the senator's brother, ordered Goldie's murder.
Took my time with that son of a bitch. It wasn't until I showed him all those pieces of himself that he said it. Patrick Henry Rourke. I'm the most powerful man in the state. Even made his rotten brother a U.S. senator.
Marv gets excited at the thought of taking out the Cardinal. But he's not even sure if what he's been experiencing is real or just in his head. So he heads to Old Town, the city's red light district run by heavily armed prostitutes, to find out the truth about Goldie, only for her look-alike to show up and put a bullet in him before he can even ask a question. Marv wakes up tied to a chair, surrounded by the deadly women of Old Town, which includes Becky, before her elevator encounter with the salesman. Wendy, Goldie's twin sister, demands to know where her sister and the 5 other women are. Marv stays calm and tells them everything he knows. Wendy sees the truth in his eyes and lowers her gun.
Sorted out.
I tied those knots. You could have taken my gun away from me anytime you wanted to.
Need a pair of handcuffs.
As Marv and Wendy speed toward the Rourke farm, Wendy reveals that Cardinal Rourke was Goldie's top client and indeed had a motive to kill her. However, she questions why Marv is risking his life for a woman he barely knew. Marv reveals that his entire life, women saw him as an ugly monster, but Goldie was the only one who saw him as a man and showed him one night of kindness. Because of that, he is ready to walk through fire for her. Seeing that they are approaching the farm, he pushes the emotion aside and checks his gear.
Rubber tubing. Saw, gas, gloves, razor wire, cuffs, ladders, hatchet, and my mitts.
It is killing time. They park 1 mile out to avoid detection, and Marv orders Wendy to stay in the car.
Kill him for me, Marv.
He creeps toward the house and spots Kevin heading downstairs for a midnight snack, so he sets a lethal trap with razor wire across the farm. To flush the monster out, he hurls a Molotov cocktail through the window. The building erupts in flames, and Kevin bursts through the glass. Marv opens fire, but the cannibal is too fast.
Damn, he's slick.
Marv levels him with a single, skull-shattering punch that could crack a concrete wall. Wendy rushes in to finish the job herself, but Marv knocks her unconscious. He refuses to let her soul be stained by the horror he is about to unleash. Moments later, Marv carves Kevin into pieces. He whistles for the cannibal's own wolf. The beast begins to eat its master alive, but Kevin does not scream. He just stares at Marv with a wide, demonic smile. Enraged by the monster's lack of fear, Marv grabs his saw and finally finishes the job.
He never screams.
Marv brings Wendy to Nancy's apartment. Because he saved Nancy from a brutal frat boy years ago, she is eternally in his debt and takes Wendy in without question. Utilizing a stolen vehicle, Marv proceeds to the Cardinal's fortified estate and begins a silent massacre, eliminating guards one by one until he stands face to face with Cardinal Rourke. He reveals Kevin was a tormented boy who believed he felt God's presence while eating his victims. He found it fascinating.
He didn't just eat their bodies, he ate their souls. And I joined in. They were all whores. Goldie almost ruined everything. You were so convenient. Who would believe a thug like you? Kevin killed her. I ordered the police in for you, but you wouldn't be caught. You wouldn't stop. We're going home. You can scream now if you want to.
Marv executes the high priest on the spot. Unfortunately, the remaining guards swarm the room and take Marv down with overwhelming firepower. He is rushed to a hospital where doctors stitch him back together solely so he can stand trial. Corrupt detectives repeatedly try to force a confession, but Marv simply spits blood on the documents and laughs at how many times they keep printing fresh copies.
And I keep spitting blood all over it and laughing at how many fresh copies they come up with.
However, the game changes when the district attorney threatens Marv's mother. Marv brutally breaks the man's hands in 3 places.
I break his arm at 3 places and I sign it. They nail me for the works. And the girls that Rourke and Kevin ate, but even Lucille and even Goldie.
He is sentenced to the electric chair. 18 months later, on the night of his execution, Wendy visits death row. Without his medication, Marv's mind is fading. He looks at her and sees Goldie. Wendy does not correct him. She lets him believe his love has returned to say goodbye. That morning, Marv is strapped into the chair. Because Marv's hardware is built differently, the first surge of electricity fails to terminate him. He mocks his executioners.
The best you can do, you pansies.
It takes multiple attempts to finally stop his heart.